on to talk about Chelsea having to sign Joao Felix, or trying to sign Joao Felix, after Omorodion deal fell through. Which I want to discuss that first. Obviously, I was very critical of the Samuel Omorodion deal in the first place. The fact that it was even a possibility really alarmed me. Really alarmed me. This is a Omorodion, by the way, that wasn't even a starter on Spain's Olympic team, and I don't understand this at all. But now there's a major problem. In the 11th hour, the deal collapsed. Chelsea originally agreed a 34.5 million euro dollar deal with Atletico Madrid to take Omorodion to Chelsea with a 7-year contract. But there was a major issue in terms of the contract, and now the move fell apart. And Yeah, I want to. There's no news exactly what part of it was the reason why it fell apart. Um, but the main thing is it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. But now Chelsea have turned their attention somehow, some way, to Joao Felix. They're eyeing Joao Felix, which will be the same negotiations, doing it with the with Atletico Madrid. Joao Felix, yes, Joao Felix, he was at Barcelona last year, but he was on loan from Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid still has his rights. Um, it's been told that Chelsea and Atletico Madrid are working on a deal for Joao Felix to return to Chelsea, so that Conor Gallagher, who's kind of been stuck right now, he's in Madrid. He's kind of stuck in the hotel waiting for this to go through. But so that Conor Gallagher can join the La Liga side, Atletico, they're keen to see Joao Felix move. Um, they've, he Joao Felix, he spent 6 months on loan in 2023, the second half of 2023, during the Grand Potter time, which honestly, he was one of our more better players. He couldn't get in the back of the net like every other striker that's been at Chelsea. But in terms of general play, I thought he had some very solid moments. I thought he played some very, very good games. I thought he was tidy, very good on the ball in tight spaces, opened up play for other players as well, got in some dangerous areas, was not clinical enough in front of goal, and overall just not good enough, not consistent enough, not clinical enough. But there was some good signs there. Now, with the Omorodion plans changing, it does put Conor Gallagher's transfer in danger right now. Then I think there's some sort of thing that Atletico Madrid needs to move on, needs to open up some sort of space to get Conor Gallagher in. So, and there's been a lot of conflicting rumors on why the Omorodion is not going through, which is that's something else. That's something else. Look, Atletico Madrid, they've had a very, very good transfer window. They've been very, very busy signing Ruben Lenomard, Alexander Sorlas, now trying to Julian Alvarez, and now they're trying to get Gallagher. But they haven't sold that much, so it's kind of we can kind of understand why they need to sell either Omorodion or Joao Felix. Need to open up some space. Now the Joao Felix thing to Chelsea, for me, it's just like been there, done that. It's the same sort of player, player overall very, very good, very, very, very tight, blah blah blah. But like, how are you gonna play him and Nkunku? These are both kind of similar sort of players. How are you gonna play him and Nkunku? You just said Pedro Neto. You already have Mikhail Mudrik. You already have Cole Palmer. You have Nane Madueke. You have Raheem Sterling. You just have so many set of players that are kind of all those fluid front three sort of players. A lot of wingers. Some false nine who play right underneath the striker sort of players. And Nkunku, Joao Felix. What's the point in bringing a player in like Joao Felix? Now, are you just making this happen just so Conor Gallagher can, you can get money out of him? If that's the case, Is that how you really, how is that how really the business of football works? I don't understand with all these sort of players that you've been signing. Why not just, you sign all these sort of players in the attacking position, sign all these sort of mid-level goalkeepers. Why don't you just save all that money you've spent and get one world-class keeper, one world-class striker, and build around them? And for me, that would have been Osimhen and Mike Maignan. But instead, they're doing all this dancing, flip-flopping around. And again, Joao Felix is just a sort of similar player. He's not going to get the ball into the back of the net, and that's what Chelsea need. Chelsea need a consistent goal scorer, and he does not provide that. And nothing Chelsea has done so far this transfer window gives you a consistent goal scorer. The biggest takeaways I had at the end of last season was we need a consistent goal scorer and a consistent shot stopper. We have not got either. A consistent goal scorer and a consistent shot stopper automatically makes you 15 points better, at least. In my opinion, at least. You got a clinical goal scorer, you got a clinical shot stopper. And in the way we watch Chelsea, how many games how many goals did we concede that we were like, yeah, the goalkeeper, maybe he could have done a little bit better. There was no clear-cut mistakes, don't get me wrong, game in, game out from the goalkeeper. But how many goals you saw, that's not beating a good goalkeeper. That's not really beating a good goalkeeper. Or how many chances we created? Oh, if there's a number 9 making that sort of run, if there was a number 9 at the right place at the right time, like they're always at, that probably could have been on the end, that he could have probably been on the end of that, at least tested the keeper. How many times, or most likely not get a goal, how many times have we thought that? I'm telling you right now, Chelsea are a world-class striker and a world-class goalkeeper away from not just getting into top 4, but potentially battling once they get into that top 4. That's how obvious I think Chelsea's issues are. But instead they want to dance around it and flip-flop around it and say, oh, let's get this sort of player, this sort of player, this player. This squad is inflated, so you know what? Why don't we just keep inflating it even more? For me, makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. And Joao Felix coming in, it's confusing. It's sad. It's difficult. I don't want to be too negative because again, I like Joao Felix as a player, but he doesn't have that sort of takeover nature to him, and we need that at this football club. We have Cole Palmer that gives you a little bit of that. But in terms of, we need that sort of attacker, that takeover attacker in terms of, we need a goal. We need a goal. We can rely on him. He'll get on the end of a cross. He'll do this. Joao Felix is not that sort of player. Joao Felix is like every other player that we have at this football club. Oh, there's some talent in there. You can get the best out of him. You put him at the right place at the right time. Some ability there. But again, he's not going to be the guy that's get the goals. He's just another guy that can create for other players. Well, we have a bunch of players that can create, but nobody to actually get the ball in the back of the net. Pedro Neto signing. Okay, it's decent in terms of the fact that he's very, very direct. He's very, very vertical. He'll take on a man. He'll beat a man or to open up space and create an opportunity for someone else. Who's he going to create an opportunity for? There's no freaking striker at the club. There's no real finisher at the club. There's no goal scorer at the club. There's no goal scorer at the club at all. So who are all these players, all these strikers, all these wingers, all these creative sort of players that you're getting? Who's gonna get the goals? Who's gonna get the goals? Nicholas Jackson. He had an amazing goal out here last season, but we can't expect that again. 22 goals? Are you kidding me? No, there's no way he's scoring 22 goals again. And keep in mind, he scored 22 goals, but 10 of them were penalty kicks, I believe. 10 or 9 or something like that. So those numbers are a little skewed. He's not a 20 goal scorer game. Nicholas Jackson had 14 goals, and, you think about how many opportunities that he missed. How many opportunities he made, and he scored 14 goals. How many opportunities do you remember Nicholas Jackson missed? Now put a competent striker up there with the amount of chances we created. Nicholas Jackson scored 14 goals. Yeah, you have a guy like Osimhen there. He'd score 30 goals. If Nicholas Jackson is able to get 14 goals with the amount of clear-cut opportunities that he misses, how much can a guy like Osimhen? How many goals can a guy like Osimhen score? He could score at least 30, and 14-30 completely changes how Chelsea is viewed, completely change how Chelsea is feared whenever they're going up against opponents. It just completely changes the the whole story, in my opinion. You know, that's that's just frankly how I see it. There's a real issue there. Um, and again, Joao Felix becoming, you know, is just a it's just the same old Chelsea. It's the same old Chelsea. They don't learn from their mistakes under this new ownership group, and I feel like we're heading in a very bad direction.